What if I told you there was a time in history so brutal, so hopeless, so nightmarishly stacked against you, that being born human felt more like a punishment than a privilege? This isn't post-apocalyptic fantasy. This was real, and it happened more than once. Welcome to Lost World Archives. Today, we go back to the absolute worst time in all of human history to be alive. Spoiler: it's not the Black Death. It's not even the Ice Age. It's something much darker and much earlier. 74,000 years ago, Earth didn't just erupt, it screamed. In a single apocalyptic moment, the planet unleashed a disaster so enormous, so violent, and so cold-bloodedly destructive that it almost wiped out the human race before history even began. And you've probably never heard about it. This is the story of the Toba Supervolcano, the closest Homo sapiens ever came to being erased from existence. The sleeping giant beneath our feet, long before cities, before pyramids, before anything we'd recognize as civilization. We were already in trouble. On the island we now call Sumatra, a volcano named Mount Toba had been quietly building pressure for hundreds of thousands of years. Beneath the Earth's crust, magma churned and swelled, trapped in a chamber the size of a small country. Then, without warning, the Earth cracked open. What followed was one of the most violent volcanic eruptions in Earth's history, a VEI 8 event, the highest rating on the Volcanic Explosivity Index. This wasn't just a mountain blowing its top. This was a continental-scale explosion. Mount Toba released 2,800 to 3,200 cubic kilometers of material, billions of tons of ash, a mushroom cloud that punched into the stratosphere. To put that in perspective, if Mount St. Helens was a grenade, Toba was a nuclear arsenal, multiplied by 10,000. The roar would have been heard for thousands of kilometers. Shock waves flattened forests across Southeast Asia. The sky darkened, and the sun, the one thing all life depends on, disappeared. The daylight died. The eruption wasn't just a local disaster. Toba's plume of ash and sulfur dioxide wrapped the entire planet in a light-blocking shroud. Scientists call what came next a volcanic winter, and that's putting it lightly. Global temperatures plunged by up to 15 degrees Celsius, 59 degrees Fahrenheit, in some regions. Sunlight dropped by 90%, casting the world into perpetual twilight. Monsoon cycles collapsed across Asia. Rain stopped, crops withered, rivers dried. Ice sheets surged, locking Earth into a sudden deep freeze. Droughts scorched Africa. Ashfall buried South Asia under 15 feet of debris. And this was before agriculture. There were no granaries, no seed banks, no stored food. Humans hunted and gathered. But when the plants died and the animals disappeared, the food chain collapsed. You didn't just feel cold. You watched your entire world bleed to death, slowly, silently, in the dark. Ash across the world. Ash from Toba's eruption didn't stay in Indonesia. It was found in India, where it preserved stone tools under layers of debris. East Africa, the cradle of humanity, the Arabian Peninsula, and even Indian Ocean seabeds. Toba literally left its fingerprint across continents. In some regions, the ash was so thick it may have blocked plant photosynthesis for years. Entire ecosystems simply stopped functioning. The near extinction of us. At the time, Homo sapiens were still a fragile emerging species. We had fire, stone tools, early communication. But we lived in small, scattered tribes with no science, no medicine, no shelter from catastrophe. When the skies darkened and the earth froze, it wasn't just hunger we faced, it was extinction. Genetic studies show that our population crashed to a terrifying low. Some estimates say as few as 2,000 to 3,000 individuals were left alive. Not in one region, on the entire planet. Let that sink in. The entire human species, every parent, child, elder, hunter, and wanderer, reduced to a few thousand desperate, starving survivors. You, me, everyone you know. We're all descended from those who barely held on. Our unusually low genetic diversity compared to other primates? That's the scar. That's the Toba bottleneck. And it lives in our DNA. What survival looked like. Now imagine waking up in that world. No sun, no warmth, no birdsong, just cold wind and ash. The air is dry, thin, and laced with sulfur. The rivers are choked with ice. The animals are gone. Your tribe hasn't eaten in days. You chew leather. You boil bones. You burn dung for heat. You bury children and move on. Because if you stop moving, you're next. This wasn't survival. It was endurance in slow motion. A war against the sky, the earth, and your own body. And yet somehow, you made it. We shouldn't be here. Let's be honest. By every natural rule, we should not be here. If just one river didn't thaw in time, if one group lost fire, if one predator was slightly more efficient, there would be no history, no article, no language, no pyramids, no internet, no you. No one watching this video. Just wind, ash, and the bones of a forgotten species. The lesson in the ash. The Toba eruption isn't just history, it's a warning. We like to think we're untouchable. That technology will save us. That progress is permanent. But nature doesn't care. It has wiped out giants before. It nearly wiped us. And it can do it again. Toba still exists. It's not extinct. Neither is Yellowstone, Campi Flegrei, Taupo. There are at least 20 known supervolcanoes on Earth, and more we haven't discovered. If another eruption of this scale happened today, global agriculture would collapse, sunlight would disappear, billions could die. We may not be so lucky next time. The sun disappeared. We didn't. The Toba Supervolcano didn't just change the climate, it changed us. It taught us what it means to be fragile. It forced us to adapt or disappear. And it reminded us, in the loudest, most violent way possible, that we are not in control. So the next time you step outside and feel the sun on your face, just remember, there was a time it disappeared. And somehow, just barely we made it back.